Hi, it's Butterfly, and welcome to day 23 of Heather Carter's 31 Days of Witchcraft Challenge. And today's question is, what would be your golden nugget of advice for a new witch? What do you wish you knew when you first started out? Whew. um, I don't know if I could nugget it down. I don't know if I could narrow it down to one nugget. I will do my best to not have it be too many. But the first thing that comes to mind for me is respect, respect, respect. Respect for others, respect for the beings that you work with, and respect for yourself. That is important. That is important in life. That is important as a witch, I feel. Um, uh, some ways that respect came up for me when I was starting out that I now wish I had known how important this would be is well, first starting out when I was very young, I was kind of obsessed at first with witchcraft and magic and Wicca, my whole spiritual path, the goddess, like all these things. And that was great for me. But as an older, more mature person, I can look back on my very young self and I can think that was great for me. But when you're obsessed with something, you need to remember that not everyone is as obsessed as you. So you can talk about other things as well. It's great to share, but if someone is already not that interested, or especially if they're older relatives or something and um, they're maybe even a little uncomfortable with the things that you're exploring because they're different to them, it's important to honor that for their sake, to be polite, and also for your sake. Um, like, I would go on the internet for hours and study all of my witchy things, and I would print so many things, and I was keeping them in this big binder. And some days I was finding out things that were very exciting to me, and I was bugging people in my family like every few minutes, like, "Oh, I just found out this thing. I just found out that thing. Oh, witchy, witch, 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 witch." And there comes a time when, with any interest, really, you don't want to overwhelm others in your life that are not a part of that, which I did not get in my head when I was a little bitchy child. And then that can also, which I found out a little later in life, that can also be important for your sake. Being careful what you share. I was openly a witch, but a lot of the details of my spirituality, I mostly, as I got older, sort of kept to myself. But for example, I had experiences when I was with my first husband where I thought, we're close. I can share about my spiritual path with my husband, which ideally you should be able to if you're in that kind of relationship. And if you can't, then maybe you shouldn't be in that kind of relationship with that person. But I digress. I shared a little bit, and I was told that my spiritual path was stupid, and that in a nutshell, it was about people dressing in black and staring at candles in the dark, and it was just stupid. And he didn't have respect for my spirituality, my magical practices, and really kind of me as a person. And that was a big part, was and is a big part of me. So if you have people like that in your life that are basically your enemies, people who don't have respect for you, people who wouldn't understand and maybe unkind, even if you don't have a bad relationship with someone, maybe it could even be someone that you're close to and you're pretty good with them. If they don't understand about what you're into, and they might not be nice about that, then it's not your job to make them understand if you don't want to. And it's not your job to explain and share everything that you're doing, everything that you believe, those intimate things that are a part of you and your personal path. When it comes to some people, you deserve, as a form of self-respect, to protect yourself, and you don't need to just lay yourself bare to anyone you know, because you deserve to not have to be vulnerable when you don't feel like it. Also, when I was very young and starting out as a new witch, and this is kind of cringy, so let me give you advice if you are particularly a young witch starting out, in case this might be an issue for you. Let me save you from future cringing. It's important to maintain respect for others who are different. If you came from a religious background that was not good for you, it's okay, I think, to be open and honest and share parts of your experience that were negative. Okay, so I was saying, if you come from a religious background where you had negative experiences, and that is why you have left that and you're on a different pagan or witchy path, and like I was saying, you should be able to be honest in sharing your personal experiences, but do it in a respectful manner. Don't be offensive and unkind to people who still are in that path, and don't paint those individuals all with the same brush, and focus on what you dealt with. Stick to your personal experience. That's sort of my advice on that. What else? And in my case, my feminism was very much, and is very much, intertwined with my spirituality. It was very important to me. But I became more than just a feminist in a positive way. I really became a female chauvinist. And sexism, whether it's directed at women or men, is a negative thing. I hate all the bad isms: sexism, racism, ageism, ableism. All those isms are bad. Let's just not engage with the isms, okay? And part of conducting oneself with respect for our other human beings, in my opinion, is to not be an agent of all the bad isms. So don't do that. Like I said, I'm still very feminist. It's very important to me. I believe I am stronger and deeper in my feminism than I was back then because I am older and wiser and I have a greater understanding. But that doesn't mean that I um, hate or belittle men. I am not a female chauvinist. Um, I am for down with patriarchy 100%. But for me, patriarchy is a system that was built to favor men, but really it hurts us all. And to be a female chauvinist and to think of men as inferior, to think of men um, as sexual objects, to basically be a jerk. Like I was when I was an immature younger person. That does not help anybody. So, in case you are a very young person, perhaps, and you're having any of that going on with you, please stop. I wish I could go back to my younger self and be like, please stop. But since I can't, if there's someone out there who is like my little self, please stop. And I'm gonna end that part there. What else? Okay, now into the specifically witchy things. There are basic witchy skills that you can build all of your other witchy skills upon that will enrich all of your magic. And these things are basic things that are like the foundations. Things like meditation. If you read the books, if you read the blogs, if you see a lot of videos on here, witches will tell you meditate. And it's for a reason. And there are skills like visualization, grounding, these kinds of things. And when I was first starting out, I would read those things and practice them a little, but I didn't master the basics before I tried to do the more advanced things that rely on the basics. And because I was pushing myself and I was rushing, I really actually slowed myself down a lot and I made things more stressful for myself. So take your time, relax, learn the basics, even if they may not feel that exciting because they're not maybe the exciting things that you want to get into. It's so worth it. It's so worth it to learn those things and get them down first. And then I think the final nugget is, this is not a nugget, this has been like a basket of nuggets. But the last gold nugget that I would like to offer is the importance of self-love and knowing your own worth. Now, some people may be like, that's so fluffy, but it's very important. And I think that not having that made things a lot harder for me when I was starting out. Because I was such an insecure person, I felt like I needed to be a good enough witch. And partly it was because I felt like I wasn't good enough as a person. And I felt like I needed to be good enough at this to be worthy of being called a witch, even just by myself. I really thought that I had to learn all the advanced things so fast, and I pushed myself too hard. And what I would say to my younger self, and what I offer to you, if this is something you don't know already, is you don't have to be the witchiest witch who ever witched to be a good witch. There are many different kinds of witchcraft. There are many spiritual paths and magical paths, and lots of people out there have differing opinions of what makes one a witch. And those are all good ideas to explore. But this is life. This is not a competition. You have time, and it's important to find out what is right for you. What fits you? What do you want to be? And what do you think? Those things are more important than feeling like you are a good enough witch for anyone else. And that was something that I wish I had known when I was a little witch. And I think that's it for this one. So I hope that some of these little nuggets were helpful, and it'll be interesting to see your responses if you're participating. And I hope to see you at the next one. Bye!